Bitcoin daily update. We're going to start off on the hourly chart. Look at our devil candle that we got just not so long ago. Then we'll zoom out to the daily, maybe do it to the weekly, and why not the monthly since it's the last day of the month, last day of June. We start a new month. You guessed it, tomorrow. So we're going to do that and jump right to it. Nothing else. I'll stop rambling now. The hourly chart, we moved down rather quickly and rather unexpected this morning. Probably because of the SEC news on the ETFs. If you don't know, better ask somebody. Going down to the 200 EMA, right? This is the hourly chart, so not taken too seriously, but hourly is worth watching at least time to time. Haven't closed below it yet. As of right now, we've made 3 hourly attempts at it. We have 18 minutes as of recording, so go check that. If we break this, then we got to look for some more levels below her. That's usually more obvious on the higher time frames. But note that wick, right? Look at this wick here, and note that I had to zoom out because that is a hell of a lot of volume, right? Just on the hourly chart, I mean, the biggest sell volume by far, right? You see at the volume at the bottom here? I mean, look at that. Right, so probably spooked a lot of people, right? Getting out just in case ETFs are denied. But, you know, FUD is always going to be rampant in any section of bull or bear markets. So watch the charts. They'll tell you your fair levels, right? So the 200 EMA, right? If we close below that, then we have to zoom out and look for our next level below. But note that low wick, just under 29.5, 29.417 to be exact. So what would that mean? Why the hell would we stop just randomly there? Was that random? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's zoom out to, let's even go to the 4-hour chart, right? Do we have anything there? Sometimes you just don't get any heads up here, right? But we have the 50 EMA right there. We're looking to close that candle also in 17 minutes, noon Eastern time. So we want to hold not only the 200 on the 1-hour chart, but the 50 EMA on the 4-hour chart, right? Then we're looking there. Otherwise, we haven't closed our low yet, right? Our low close on the 4-hour is 29,866 right here. If we close under that, and how do you get closing prices? If you just clean it up, right? You can just hit that line chart and you can add these, right? If you don't know how to do this, right? You can just go to TradingView and you star the ones that you want up there, right? And that'll help you out greatly. So there you go. Our close, right? We want to maintain a close higher than this. Otherwise, our next levels happen. And where would it be? Well, on the 4-hour chart, you'd have to target 29,165. That's the 100 EMA. That's where we're looking at next if we close under the 50 in 16 minutes. So probably by the time you watch this and it's published, you'll have your answer, right? So let's zoom out to the daily chart, see if we got anything more to watch. Well, coincidentally, we've gone down, bounced perfectly off the EMA 14, right? I'll move my cursor so you can see that. EMA 14, right? Where is that at? 29,419. What was the low? 29,417. You can't make this shit up, right? So no coincidence that that's where it starts and stops right there for support so far. We have not closed again under that channel or that candle. 29,539 on 29,886 on the close, right? Check yourself, right? Close. We haven't closed under that yet. Still holding EMA 8, still macro bullish. Anytime you're above all your moving averages, you got to maintain your bullish momentum by holding the uppermost moving averages. Just because you break it and close below doesn't mean you're automatically bearish. It just means the super bulls, so to speak, are maybe losing a little bit of momentum. So more consolidation likely if we close under the EMA 8. 8 hours though for this one. You got to wait a little bit longer on this one. We'll see where we end up closing. That EMA 8, let's get an exact number on it. Probably not going to change much. It's right at 30K. Look up here. 30K. You see the EMA ribbon there. Right almost to the dollar. So 30K. We got to close above 30K today, end of June, right? We'll see where we start off July. So Monday, we'll make a new update and look at the monthly chart. So we'll try to make up now that we're in the bull market, we're going to try to at least do like Bitcoin daily updates. So if you're wondering, nobody else is putting out videos or you don't like them and you got too much fluff, come here, right straight to the point, and we'll do Bitcoin daily updates and probably pepper in some altcoins, throughout the week as well. So get your requests in. Let's see what else we got, right? One more thing, very important to note. fractals, right? Fractals are, similar patterns that happen across multiple time frames and different charts. So let's see what we have here on the daily chart. Do we have anything we can relate to here? A nice move up and then sideways, right? Does that seem familiar? Let's remove the volume because it just blocks out a lot of my shit and makes it look too busy, right? So back over here, right? Nice move up and then consolidation. Where do we hit and bounce off of? The EMA 8 and the EMA 14. Where have we done so far? Nice move up, sideways consolidation. The EMA 8, the EMA 14, right? You're seeing the similarities here, right? And note that our low before moving higher was the EMA 14. We've hit one wick already. EMA 14. Don't get too greedy if you're waiting on the sidelines trying to put more in, right? It's never going to make it easy on you. You're going to have a plan ahead of time. And, just if you have 1,000 on the sideline, you want to put 1,000 in. Maybe you don't put the whole 1,000 in if we go back down here. Maybe you do, 300, right? 30% or, 500, half of it, right? You have to have a plan like that. Dollar cost average is a great strategy because nobody knows exactly when Bitcoin is going to reverse up or down, right? Today is a great case of that. But again, going back to my point, this is not obtuse, right? This is not, Andy Dufresne. We are not doing anything massively unexpected here, right? This is an as of right now, right? What if this candle closes here? What the hell does this candle? How can we interpret that candle? It's just a long-legged doji candle, right? Wick upper side, wick downside. What the hell does that mean, Chase? It's indecision in the markets. The bulls and the bears are both fighting on both sides, and we can't quite nudge in one direction yet. That's the only thing. That's the only reason you're looking at these. These are Japanese candlesticks. They tell a story. You just have to interpret it, right? That's my job. I'm trying to help as many people as possible. I don't make any money on YouTube. I'm here for you, right? Okay, so what are we doing, right? If we come back down here again, realize last time we're rhyming pretty good with this. History doesn't repeat, but it does often rhyme. So, just throwing that out. Look at the fractal from March, right? Looking very similar so far, right? That's the daily. All right, let's zoom out to the bigger picture, the weekly. And again, look at the candle, right? Not just indecision on the weekly. We haven't done a whole lot. This is a baby little candle, right? Look at what we did last time, right? Move up in March. You guessed it. Long-legged dojis, 3 weeks in a row. Indecision. Before moving up briefly, going into a flag pattern, and now the move out of it, right? So we could do that a couple more weeks, right? Who knows? But we have our levels. We're prepared for them. We're daily updating now. So check back often, and we will, keep you straight shooted. I don't know. Pick whatever acronym you want there. All right. So how about our indicators? Did they look any good? Well, let's take a look real quick. Also, let's look at our weekly Gaussian channel. We have not looked at that in a hot minute. We're on the verge of turning green here as long as we can remain above the channel, right around 29K. So keep that in mind as well. If we go back down, sometimes we can wick right off of the top of the channel on the weekly. So keep that in mind. That's where's the top? Let's get an exact number. It's 28,771. So if we're around that area, keep in mind. Right? Okay, so that's the Gaussian channel on the weekly. Keep in mind, we are green on the 5-day, which is the secret one, right? That's your secret sauce. 5-day Gaussian channel, price action above, turns green. That's double check marks, and it's good to go. Not for the next 4 minutes or 4 weeks or even 4 months. It's for, a year, 2 years out, buying in this area, usually rockstar levels. Go check the Gaussian channel on the 5-day on any time frame, any chart, any asset. It works out pretty damn good if you're doing that, right? So weekly, back to it. Indecision so far, top of the Gaussian channel is at just under sub 29K. So indicators, back to the scrambles, right? The positives, right? You want to always look at both positive and negative for anything you're looking at. If anyone's just preaching all bull or all bear, right? You got to get away from those people. They're just trying to fit their narrative and make you subscribe to whatever the hell they're selling, right? But the weekly chart on the Fisher Transform indicators has just triggered up. This is huge. All right, the last time we were kind of just consolidating and triggered up was back in early January, right? That was a hell of a move up, right? We went from 15, 16K to 30, over 30, right? That was that move there. And then we triggered down in, mid to late April. And then we've been going down ever since. And we just triggered, last week to go up, right? These don't usually flip-flop back and forth once they start to move parallel. You can see indecision here, but we don't have that right now, right? Not likely going to fade for a couple weeks, right? Even this move here, last 2 to 3 weeks. This move here is over a month. This move here is 6, 8, 12 weeks, right? That's what we're looking at. So good sign there. Stochastic is cross bullish. Momentum is on our side now, right? So that is a great sign as well. The RSI, we talked about this yesterday, holding support at those key lower 50s, which historically going back a decade plus, that's the level to separate the bull and bear markets. That's where we are. We're still good. All good. Bearish. Do I have anything bearish here? Well, the MFI, right? The MFI is still in a downtrend, right? This is your money flow index. So does that mean, everyone's leaving? No, it could just mean, kind of altcoins are coming in and it's not like fresh capital, right? So that would be my only kind of lean sideways. Otherwise, right, indecision so far on the weekly, nothing to translate just yet. We still have 2.5 days until the week closes, but that's going to translate over into the month. So speaking of month, how does the monthly chart look? We don't look at this very often, usually at the end or the beginning of the month. So we'll check it now and we'll check it again on Monday and see how we're progressing. So right now we're still at that 30K level, right on it. What would it mean if we closed here? Well, besides closing above all our moving averages, monthly moving averages, we would also start to crack into the upper echelon of the Bollinger Bands on the monthly. That's where you can really start to turn uber bullish when you do that, right? Go back and look historically. When you get back above, see this thin purple line here, that's the median line in the Bollinger Bands, right? That's where you tend to hold in bull rallies and markets, barring the pandemic or a black swan event, but quickly still recovered on the monthly, right? Look at that long lower tail. See how we separate in the upper tier of the Bollinger Bands on the monthly and really don't hit it again until bear market's here, right? And same thing. We're not going to come back down if we close a monthly candle up here, right? Very unlikely with a close, right? We can wick down, sure, and play around with it, of course, but this is bears going extinct here on the short term here, I should say long term, but maybe in the not so distant 8-hour future, if you catch my drift here, right? This would be a huge sign for the bulls, even bigger than we've already had, but we're right at it, right? Look at that. So maybe we have to wait till the end of July. So be it. But you've got to be leaning bullish now because look at the price action. It's above all of your moving averages. How are you anyone leaning bearish? Blows my mind, right? Again, goes back to that narrative. Is there anything bearish on the monthly chart? Not really. We've gained monthly momentum to the upside starting in January. RSI gaining. MFI, maybe you could argue, we're not high enough yet, but, we've just come out of a bear market for over a year, right? What I would argue for the bulls is, look at that bottom and look at that bottom, right? We're increasing higher lows. That's a good one. Let's go back out, see what else we can see. Do we have anything else? I guess bears could maybe argue that, the ADX and DI on the monthly is, relatively meaningless at this point. You want your ADX above 25 on any time frame. So how does it look on the weekly? Above 25, right at it. And the bulls are in charge with the green, right? Bulls and bears, right? Whoever's on top, you want that confirmed with your trend, like back here, right? Look at the bears out bigly in the bear market, right? The ADX increasing, bearish increasing. So, indicator, you shouldn't be trading based on your indicators. They should just confirm or deny your theory on the Japanese, support and resistance, the candlesticks here, right? So if you're trading just on indicators, that's not how to do it, right? Okay, so I think I've wrapped it up pretty good here. The monthly, did we get anything else? Any questions? Let me know. We can, do it again on Monday for the Bitcoin update. But look at where the monthly wick hit. The 50-month EMA, you can't make it up, right? I mean, resistance right here, back-to-back months, breakthrough, come back, retest. The biggest evidence is here. I mean, Jesus, I mean, look at this. You can't even make it up. Look at this wick here, right? Combined with this wick, right? Support, flip to resistance, resistance again, and then, another retest, flip back to support. I mean, the signs are there on the biggest time frames that the bulls are getting ready to show up, even bigger than we are now. Phase one of the bull market is here. This is phase one. Usually towards the end of phase one, you start to get, fake outs in both directions, keep the market on guess and on edge. That's where we are, right? Where are you, right? If you're on the sidelines, you've got to have something in at this point, right? Maybe you don't have it all in, but what if we're at 35K next, this time next month, right? Then what are you going to do? Wait for a 30K, 31K pullback? What if we're at, all the what ifs, right? Bitcoin will never make it easy. I'm trying to make it easier for you. So I'll do daily updates for Bitcoin. Hopefully this helps. If it did, thumbs up. If you want more help and more, navigating the markets, more tips and tricks, more teachings, join our Patreon, private Telegram, link below. Happy to help you out there. I'm in there, many videos every day, and I keep them updated first. I did an update, early this morning on Bitcoin with as that kind of candle was developing. So a lot more interaction there. Happy to help there. Anything else, let me know for questions for next week. Happy Friday. Let's get to our crypto fear and greed index. We're still in greed. I have a hunch that this might fall today with that scare in the markets this morning. Bitcoin season still at 10. We have to get out of this if you want to get in big on altcoins, right? I mean, we have to get above that line, right? That's when altcoins will start to flourish again. Not until then, very likely, right? Bitcoin's still your safest play. Quote of the day: love cures people, both the ones who give it and the ones who receive it. True story. Car of the day. You got it? Who's got it? I always do the quizzes like everyone's car guru. It's the Pagani Huayra. You can have one if you've got 3 to 5 million based on the options. What kind of options could you go from 3 million to 5 million? I'm glad you asked. How about full carbon fiber bodies exposed? If their doors aren't cool enough, the back actually opens backwards. The whole rear comes up and then the whole front comes up. So it looks like a shell opening. I've seen one of these in real life. Full exposed carbon. What the hell would that look like? I'm glad you asked. Look like that. So this is the standard piss poor version for the 3 mil. If you want to up your game to the 5 mil and be, super special, you get the exposed carbon fiber, then have it candy painted. Damn. Look at that difference. That is pretty spectacular. I think it's 1 to 200K option difference for just that. And in addition to how much carbon exposed carbon you want, right? Exposed carbon is very difficult to do because it's got to be flawless, right? So there's my car of the day and some useless knowledge about it. That's probably, if I had, unlimited, if I had monopoly dollars, this would definitely be in the collection for sure, right? I mean, how are you not getting them doors? All right, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you want to see next and have a great weekend. 4th of July weekend for those of you in the U.S. We're not going to really get a whole weekend. Tuesday's 4th of July here in the U.S., big holiday. Probably not going to be doing a whole lot then, but Monday, we're doing updates Monday. Okay, so come back. We'll translate what the hell has happened over the past few days and stay tuned for the next one.